Hey folks, so you're joining me today because I am editing our website. Now, within the Rendezvous set stack, we use something called Bricks Builder, which is a phenomenally powerful um, page builder and more for the WordPress platform that we sit upon. And Tim and I have met together and we've discussed an update to the copy to the website. And I'm just going to show you how I would change the website. So first of all, we have get more than a website, get more than a website, get an event engine. That's already set. That's great. But there is this new line here, liberate your event marketing. So nice and easy for me. I'm going to click on this area here and I'm going to paste that in. And we can make that bold if we want. So liberate your event marketing. Okay, so next we want to input these items here. And I want to use something a bit more attractive than just a generic bullet list. So let's take a look at the options that we have. First, I'm going to select this item here. I can see it's called the rich text. So we could call this a strap line, just so I know what we're dealing with and where I'm at. This could be our main heading and this could be our subheading. That helps me structure things and helps me see what's going over here in the right hand side. But next, I'm going to see what of all these possible items are available to me. So how about I look for a list? Do we have a list? We do. I'm going to go for just a generic list for now, although I could use an icon list as well. But let's just click on list and that will pop the list right underneath. It's just going to default at the moment to a list item with pricing, but we can edit all of this now. We're just going to click on here and let's just leave the name as list. We'll delete the first item there, and I'm going to go into list item and just set up some of my defaults. So here we have our list item. At the moment, it's justified to the left. That's totally fine. I don't want any backgrounds or anything like that. I don't need to do any sort of highlights. I would, though, like to add an icon. So maybe I want to select let's go with font awesome, and let's run a search for check. And we'll go for that bulleted check for now. I'd also like that to be a specific color. So let's select from our color palette to make sure it's on brand. Perhaps I want to set a width or a height or a specific size. So maybe I would set it to 25 pixels. That's a bit big. So let's say 20 just for giggles. Well, that's good. Let's go down to the title. On the title, that's the text here that's being used. I probably want to apply a little bit of spacing, say 15 pixels to the left. I'm going to say as well that I do not need a separator. Let's go back to the list item, make sure that everything is justified left. And let's then go to the item and remove the meta. So we now just have the list item itself. Cool thing is now is that, first of all, I can grab my first bit of text and paste that in. Fabulous. But now I can also just duplicate this 1, 2, 3 extra times, and I can grab this information in here and paste it all in. Now then, this feels a little bit off because it is just all over to the left-hand side. So perhaps we want to centralize this whole piece. I'm just going to therefore pop this into some sort of container. So let's say we're going to pop that into a div. I'm going to pop that over there. And that allows us to centralize this list. And it allows us to style this particular section. Now we're going to just do a quick lazy hack and we're going to say, right, let's add 30 pixels here. And we can see as well that there's quite a gap between this strap line, which is not in line with the other gap there. So we've got our 30 pixels there and 30 pixels there, which is looking nice. I'm then going to check, does this still look okay on mobile? I would say maybe not on mobile. I might want to adjust the text size. I can come back to that later. But the idea is it's nice and simple. I've got a copy change that I've been requested. And I'm able to very quickly update the website, the design, test how it looks, etc. Even remove things if I want to at a certain level. So let's say I just wanted to completely remove these bullet points at this particular level, then I can hide those because I'm in the mobile portrait section. I'm not going to. I actually want that information to be displayed. Now let's go back to desktop, and I am going to duplicate this text here. I'm going to go ahead and paste in the kind of the sub strap line or the end line. I don't know what we'd call that. Let's call it end strap line. And then I am going to drag that down to below the image. So let's drag that down to below the image. I think our spacing at the top of that needs to be adjusted, and that could be because we have that. So that would bring that in line. And then our spacing under there is 30 as well. So we've now got create, sync, launch, measure, evolve, which I think looks rather fab. Okay, so I have actioned everything that Tim has asked for. Now let's go into the mobile version because we probably want to adjust this slightly. Let's go into the title. And let's go typography. And I wonder, should we bring this down a little bit? So 18, 16. 16 looks good. Let's go into our icon. Actually, let's go into the list item and we'll say align all things top. And then we'll go back to the title, back to typography. And let's say our line height is 100%. That's going to squish everything. But then what we can do is just experiment. 120%, 130%, 130%, I think looks quite nice. And then do we want a little bit of a gap? I would suggest that we do want a little bit of a gap, let's say 5, just to spread things out. So now what we'll see is that at this width, everything's fine. It's all stacked. But then at mobile, we're giving it some extra special treatment where we're changing our line height and just making everything look a little nicer so that we're on mobile. So now I'll be able to email Tim and say, hey, mate, tickety boo, it's all done for you. Thanks, folks.